I wiped my face with trembling hands as I stepped out of the hospital room. The air in the corridor was heavy, the fluorescent lights buzzing faintly. My husband was dying inside, fighting for his last breath. My chest burned with grief. That's when I heard them, two nurses whispering by the corner. Their voices carried just enough for me to catch. Poor man, if only he knew. She and the doctor, all these years. The words sliced through me. My heart skipped. My tears froze midstream. Doctor, she, all these years. I leaned against the wall, forcing myself to breathe. My husband, my dying husband, wasn't just a victim of illness. He was a liar, a traitor, and the secret had lived inside these sterile walls longer than I could imagine. The beginning. When I first met him, he had been everything I thought I wanted. Gentle, attentive, a man who carried me like I was the center of his world. We were young, hopeful, naive. He promised me a life of trust and love, and for years I believed it. Every smile, every touch, every night he whispered that I was his only. I clung to those moments. I built my life around them. But standing there, with the nurse's whispers echoing in my skull, I realized something. I had been nothing more than a convenient mask. A wife for the world to see, while he played his games in the shadows. The signs. Looking back, the clues had always been there. The sudden late shifts, the hushed phone calls he took in the bathroom, the way his eyes darted when I asked about hospital events I hadn't been invited to. Once I found a message on his phone, a simple, "I miss you already." He swore it was from a patient, that it meant nothing. I let it go. Another time, his tie smelled faintly of perfume I didn't own. He laughed, saying a nurse had hugged him in celebration. I swallowed the lie. I had chosen blindness. Because I loved him, because I trusted him. But that night in the hospital corridor, the blindness ended. The shift. I walked out of the hospital with tears still wet on my face, but my heart had turned to stone. Grief was gone. Love was gone. Only one thing remained: clarity. I wouldn't scream. I wouldn't confront him like a scorned wife. No. I would play his game, only better. I would dismantle his world piece by piece, and he would die knowing that the woman he betrayed was the one who pulled every string. The plan. The first step was patience. I stayed by his side at the hospital, the devoted wife everyone admired. I held his hand, kissed his forehead, let him believe I was blind and broken. Meanwhile, I gathered financial records, insurance papers, hospital connections, his secret accounts he thought I didn't know about. And then, her, the nurse, his mistress in white. I dug quietly, following her trail. She wasn't just his lover. She was greedy, careless. She had debts. She had weaknesses. I reached out to her anonymously, posing as someone willing to help her. A false promise of money, a false sense of security. She confided more than she should. Pictures, messages, proof. The puzzle assembled itself neatly in my hands. Execution. One by one, I removed his supports. First, the finances. I rerouted accounts, closed investments, transferred assets quietly into my name. By the time he noticed, it was too late. He was too weak to fight. Second, his reputation. I leaked the evidence of his affair carefully, precisely. A board member here, a colleague there. By the time the whispers reached the hospital, he was already a condemned man in the eyes of those who once respected him. Third, the mistress. I fed her enough rope to hang herself. Promises of a future inheritance she believed he'd leave her. She signed documents she never understood, binding herself legally to debts she couldn't escape. She thought she was stepping into his life. Instead, she was stepping into a noose. The confrontation. One evening, as machines hummed softly in his hospital room, I leaned over his bed. His skin was pale, his breaths shallow. His eyes flickered open when he felt my hand. "I've been thinking," I whispered. My voice was calm, almost tender. "About everything you've done." His lips parted, dry and weak. I'm sorry." "Sorry?" I tilted my head, studying him like a specimen. "You let me stand by you, love you, fight for you, while you betrayed me with her. You thought I didn't know?" His eyes widened, fear creeping in. I smiled. Not out of joy, but precision. "She's ruined now, drowning in debts she signed for. And you? Everything you built, your reputation, your money, your legacy, it's gone. I took it all." He tried to speak, but only a rasp escaped. His chest heaved, panic rising with the beeping monitor. "Don't waste your breath," I murmured. "Save it. It's all you have left." I leaned closer, my lips by his ear. "You will die knowing that I won. That I walked away whole, and you left this world empty, disgraced, forgotten." Tears welled in his eyes. Not of love, of fear, of realization.